Yeah, got to give Florida a lot of credit. They came ready to play. Great environment here. Crowd was great. Their energy was great. They turned us over 18 times. You know, Boogie ends up with 8 steals. You got to credit their guards. They played well. You know, everybody's afraid of Florida's front court, and rightfully so. I mean, they're tough. They're good. They're skilled. They're, you know, Chenalou is one of my favorite players in the league, and, you know, he ends up with 14, 17, which is ridiculous numbers, 17 rebounds. But, you know, the guards really kind of controlled this game here, and I'm a little disappointed we didn't have better guard play with the amount of turnovers, and they didn't turn the ball over on their side at all. I mean, we forced 2 turnovers the whole game, and, you know, only one of them was out of their backcourt. So you kind of look at our backcourt. I mean, it was, 8, 11, 14 turnovers, 15 if you count. Man, we had a lot of turnovers in our backcourt. So, you know, it's hard to win a game when you're minus 16 on the turnovers, minus 6 on the old boards. Talk about trying to win a possession game. They destroyed us in the possession game. I mean, you know, they scored 100 points, only made 3 threes. You don't have to take many threes when you're getting dunks and layups off turnovers. So 25-0 on points off turnovers. Not sure I've ever been associated with a game like that, and that's disappointing. And it's also a credit to Florida's game plan. They went to the switching. We didn't handle it well. Their physicality on the switches caused our guards some major problems. We did a terrible job adjusting to it. You got to look in the mirror at what I did as a coach, and we just was not our night. And Florida's kind of had our number here lately. They've done a really good job, and they've guarded us a couple different ways. You know, they've been in a drop, and today they switched us in both ways. It worked well, and you know, typically they don't give us many threes, but in fact we got down as much as we did. You know, I think we ended up going 14-34, but a lot of those came when the game was out of hand already. So they do a good job kind of running us off the line, pushing us in. It's great when you got switchable bigs like Chenalou, and you know, he's forcing turnovers on the switches, and does a really good job. I mean, he's one of the better bigs in the country. So disappointing game for us, but you know, we got to bounce back and be ready to go on Wednesday.
Questions? Can you just take us a little bit through what your plan was with Amari Allen today, and just him getting cleared ahead of time, and obviously kind of a tough environment for him to return in today? Yeah,
I mean, when you haven't played in a few weeks, it's not ideal to walk into a game like this. You know, obviously he didn't. He was a little out of rhythm. I mean, he's a pretty tough kid. He ends up, you know, getting in foul. He's got to be smarter with his fouls too. I mean, he just plays really hard. He's tough. He's physical, but he's just running around, fouling, trying to make tough plays. Like fouling negates all your hustle. I mean, they shot 26 free throws, double what we shot and that was not a referee issue at all. It was a us issue. Like, we just dumb fouls. I thought the game was officiated fine. We just, you know, Mari was a little rusty. As you would, he had 1 day of practice in the last few weeks, and, you know, he ends up with three turnovers, shoots 2 of 8. You know, we didn't generate good enough threes. He's 1 of 5, but you know, we know he's tough and plays hard, but, you know, just you got to do it without fouling.
Nate, did you? Sorry, go ahead. You go. Nate, you know, it seems like obviously LeBaron's one of the best guards in the country, but it seems like some of the time when he's high turnovers, kind of directly correlates to you guys' success. Something that Florida did today. I know you mentioned the switching, but you think he was pressing a little when they got the deficit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his turnovers came early, I thought, though. I mean, he did definitely had a few in the second half, but yeah, I mean, he ends up with 5 turnovers. He had 5 turnovers way too many times this year, and when he turns the ball over this much, it's, you know, it's hard, but then it's also like, you know, you'd like to go with like Holloway. Well, you know, Holloway Holloway doesn't turn it over very much, and he turned it over himself 3 times today. So they did a really good job switching. Yeah, I'm looking. LeBaron had 3 turnovers at the half, so he had 3 in the first half, 2 in the second. So, you know, I don't know if it was. I don't necessarily think it was him pressing as much. It's just not handling the physicality of their bigs once they switched. And I mean, Chenalou can sit down in a stance, move his feet well. He's tough. He's strong. He bumped. I mean, I remember one of the turnovers in the second half. He just kind of bumped us out of bounds when we're trying to drive on him. Like it's hard to handle his physicality, and our guards did a terrible job with it.
You just touched on this. Was that why you called him one of your favorite players in the league, or your favorite player in the league?
And he plays hard. I mean, he's tough, physical, he plays hard. I mean, shoot, any guy that can get 17 rebounds, that impacts winning at a high level. So I just think, we transferred from Washington State, right? Unbelievable job by their staff finding a guy. I looked, I think he averaged 5.5 points at Washington State. So to find a guy that didn't necessarily have great production, but looks like he did, they did a great job, because this guy's maybe the best big in our league.
Nate, when the Baylor player got ruled eligible, you said that you thought it was taking opportunities away from high school kids. Do you still have that same position?
No, I didn't say that. If you go back and re-listen to my statement, I said I was opposed to all of the pros coming in, not just the Baylor kid. It's all the European pros. And yeah, I honestly, I do. I think because what we have now is Americans at 18, 19 coming out of high school having to compete with, I mean, there's 23-year-old freshmen from Europe that have, I mean, the Najee kid was one of them. It wasn't just him, it was all of them. Like, I was a high school coach. Like, if you're going to be able to come over here from Europe playing 4 or 5 years of professional basketball at the highest level in Europe, which is the second best league in the world, right behind the NBA, higher level than the G League, you can't play 4 years of professional basketball, 5 years, come over here, and then our 18, 19-year-old high school seniors are competing with those guys for scholarships. You're competing with 22, 23-year-olds for scholarships coming out of high school. That was my statement. But then I also said, if you listen to and I'm still with it. But then if you also go through, if everybody else has the opportunity to sign these European pros at 22, 23 with 4 years of eligibility or 3 years of eligibility, then I'm not sure what the difference is. I'm on what Bediako, other than Bediako's a domestic kid that went to school first. I know they're making that distinction, but that's what American kids do. Charles was born in Chicago, went to high school in the U.S. He's an American. He's got dual citizenship, Canada. So Charles goes to college first, which is what most American kids do. Gets some advice where he thought he was going to be a draft pick. Goes in the draft, doesn't get drafted. Now, the amount of money you can make in college is significantly higher than what you're going to make in the G League by large margins. So just because the European guys don't go to college because it's not associated with an academic institution over there, they're professionals. So you're a pro, go to the G League, stay in your old pro, whatever it is, you're a pro, put your name in a draft. And the other thing I look at, and you guys do the research, but go look at how many current NBA free agents are playing in college basketball right now. There's a lot of them. Like, do your research. There's a bunch of NBA free agents playing in high major college basketball right now. The only American one that I know of, and I didn't research every single one of them, the only American one that I know of is Charles Bediako. So we got all these different NBA free agents, and then he's the one.
As a follow-up, there's a player that's played 10 games in the NBA now that's trying to get eligibility. Are you concerned about the slippery slope that could lead to?
I think everybody should probably be concerned with that, but they need to draw a line, and I think Charles people thought that the line shouldn't have been drawn on that's going to favor all the internationals and not, allow the Americans to be able to make the money. And I think that's kind of where they thought the line should be drawn somewhere else. But it's, some people would argue that Charles has a better case to be eligible than some other guys playing in college basketball right now based on what it is. So I go way back when. I'm not sure that I was necessarily pro any professionals playing, but that's where we've gone down. So if you're going to go down and your former player, wants to get eligible and judge rules him eligible, we're going to play him. So yeah, I think we all should be concerned with it, and they need to come up with a set of rules that everybody agrees on and can follow. And judges, the U.S. court system needs to probably agree on them too. Otherwise, they're going to get taken to court.
Was that the reception you expected for Charles, his first SEC road game?
Yeah, yeah, that's. You saw what Najee got on the road. Yeah, everybody, but my thing is, every team we play almost has a professional basketball player on their team too. So we're not. This one just got a little more media attention, so he's going to get. That's what he's going to have to get, and he's just going to have to deal with it. Like that's life. You're got very passionate fan bases in the SEC, and the fans are going to do what they do. So, yeah, I expected something similar to that.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep.